to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's declaration that the creation of state police is now critical to strengthening security across the country. The president made the comments on Tuesday during his visit from Katsina State Governor Diko Rada at the presidential villa in Abuja. In his remarks, Tinubu stated that although the country is dealing with difficult security challenges, the problems can be fixed with determination and the right strategy. Well, let's take a look before we take some reactions.
I've been looking at the security situation more carefully. I've seen civilian JTF, or what you call it, to react to the security challenges. Find so many creative ways you people would be going to protect the neighborhood and communities around you. And that is provoked my thinking about, state police. Again, politics apart. We can discuss with the National Assembly leadership to really, look at critical path to that again.
All right. I mean, the state governors have also been advocating for the state police. It's good, and it's quite reassuring to see that the president is actually at this moment backing the idea. Let me take Temi Tokwe's tweet, and he wrote, "If there's going to be state police, then devolution of power must happen. Let states pay their police salaries from the proceeds they see in their states." I like that point. You can't create state police without devolution of power. A police in Lagos or Rivers should earn more than the one in Yola, right, Rufai? Another tweet is from Femi. They wrote, "Absolutely. We've been clamoring for this for long. The local people know their own people and state very well. Let them police their own affairs. Each state should recruit individuals from their states, send them to the Federal Government Police College for a mandatory training. After the training, they obtain a police license. Then they go back to their states as police officers to be managed by the state government. The federal government can then have specialized policing teams for crime investigation and for deterrence." Dr. Vati, what do you make of this? I mean, I do like the idea of devolution of powers as well. I mean, I think that is really the way to go.
Okay, let's start as follows. This is not new. I made a point earlier on that since 2014 National Political Conference, state police was one of the recommendations of that political conference under the Jonathan administration. But of course, when President Buhari got there, he set it aside. He said it was not an issue, complaints about the conclusions of that report, about the composition of the National Political Conference. That was that. But when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu got into office, he, having been an advocate and having written a book on federalism, said, okay, let us revisit the issue of state police. In 2024, a committee was set up to revisit the matter. That committee was led by the Vice President Kashim Shettima. Now, by January this year, we were told that all the state governments had already signed up to the idea of state police. We discussed it here. Many people say, oh, it was an idea that the time had come. Now, various states, they were supposed to submit their reports, their own, framework as to how that can be worked out. Now, the deadline given to them was, I think, March 2025. As at March 2025, only 20 states have submitted their own reports. So you don't even see the commitment on the part of the states. So now President Tinubu, meeting a delegation from Katsina State, says he's committed to the idea of state police. What will be required? Now, the background lies in constitutional reform. Section 215 says, 214, Section 214 says that there shall be only one police force in Nigeria. So that's where the point about devolution of powers comes from. That for you to have state police, you have to amend that Section 214. Section 215 of the same constitution says expressly that only the president of Nigeria can give directives to that sole police force of Nigeria. So unless you do all of that, the governors are powerless. That's why a governor, of Zamfara State will say, well, I can solve the problem, but he does not have the powers. Right. That's why an ordinary police sergeant, or what was his rank, we tell Governor Sanwo-Olu, of Lagos.
Yes, we took
now,
that
I don't
story.
take instructions,
I don't take instructions
from
you.
governor. I take instructions only from
Which is
my
correct.
organs on top.
Yes.
So these are the issues that are involved here. But the state governors, they say they want to control security in their states if they are so empowered. In other jurisdictions, in America, where you came from.
From where?
You came from America.
My originality is
they have National Guard.
American,
They have,
they do.
marshals.
Yes.
They have all this
Which is
in
the
the
main
federal
point.
system.
Yes, yes.
So that's why the whole issue is about constitutionalism, control, power sharing, and also, the will on the part of the government.
But we are seeing that the president is aligned with this idea of devolution of power and that sort of federalism, and saying that he backs the state police.
It's not for him to talk about it.
I know,
We
but
should
it's
see
great
it.
that he's talking about it. I'm just saying, but hopefully it will go through that constitutional amendment, because this is really what we need. For these people, like you see in the tweets, they're saying the states have control of the people, and if they have control of the people, they know the people that they can recruit, and they're able to govern their states, and we are able to hold them to account. I like that. In the same vein, though, reactions have continued to trail the 6-year sentencing of Nigerian-born Finnish citizen Simon Ekpa by a Finnish court for terrorism-related activities. The federal government, through the Minister of Information, had hailed the verdict as a major victory for the Nigerian police or for the Nigerian people in the collective fight against terror. Now, the Igbo social-cultural organization, Ohaneze Ndigbo, on Wednesday applauded the federal government for Ekpa's incarceration. In a statement by the deputy president of the group, the development underscores the Igbo people's resolute opposition to armed struggle under the guise of Biafra agitation. The group stated that they unequivocally condemn terrorism in all its forms and reject any deviation from non-violent self-determination principles, adding that the Igbo nation stands united for peace and constructive dialogue. I mean, this group have stated that, Ekpa's arrest will mitigate insecurity in the southeast. They commended the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, for their efforts in fighting terror in the region. The Finnish court found Ekpa guilty of using his social media to urge his followers to commit crimes. He was also found guilty of supplying groups with weapons and explosives, while also promoting violence on the ground in Nigeria from where he was in Finland. I'd like to take some reactions to that comment from the Igbo social cultural group Ohaneze Ndigbo. This person, Naji, wrote on X that this is not a federal government of Nigeria case. It's between Finland and Simon Ekpa. No one needs to commend Nigeria government for it. I completely disagree with that tweet. Well, Araba described the deputy president as fraudulent. He wrote, "How can this fraudulent person claim to be speaking for the Ohaneze with no challenge? Which government or which federal government did that? Why did they allow the guy to wreak havoc in the southeast before going after him? Is it not shameful that this case concluded speedily," which is a huge conversation, while the other one in Nigeria moves like snail? Your thoughts on those comments? I mean,
okay.
What are your
terror has no place in society, and anybody that supports and condemns and condones terror, like Simon Ekpa did, I totally condemn them, because I feel terror is not the solution to the problems of the southeast. Are there cases of marginalization against the Southeast? Yes, like we always say, the Civil War never ended. Honestly, and it's true. Because after Gowon declared no victor, no vanquish, there's still a lot that needs to be done for the Southeast that has not been done. And we still see this clear marginalization. And it's this marginalization that makes people like Simon Ekpa have a voice in the first place. At some point, it was Ralph Wazirike, Nnamdi Kanu, all of them. The common thread is marginalization, which I think the government should fix. And that's why I say the first process in doing that is settling the Nnamdi Kanu case. And so that we start restoring sanity to the Southeast region. Because if we restore it, then development will come. But I totally condemn everything Simon Ekpa did do at that point in time. But I think, and I disagree with that too, like you said, the federal government has to be commended, because the federal government did make overtures.
They
but
played a
Finland
major role
did
in
say,
that,
okay, yes, we are, we're a sovereign nation, we're going to deal with this. And IPOB also did go against, some, Ekpa, a lot. And in fact, they did come out openly to pronounce that they're not in support of what he was doing. So that's settled. I think another case I would like to talk about is this. You see, the kind of democracy we run in Nigeria is a hypocritical democracy. It's a demonstration of grace. And Dr. Bali, you made a valid point that in the Constitution, yes, the police, the Nigerian police force, which says we all take, instruction from the commander-in-chief, that only applies when the Governor Institute is not aligned with the federal government. We have also seen police in the states being used, and federal police in the state being used to be able to go against oppositions of governors in that same states. When they are doing it, the state governor is in charge. You know why? Because it's probably alignment with the central government then. But when it comes to cases of insecurity in the states, and is not probably aligned with the central government, then he starts to cry. Because that time, the central government will not give him all the support he gets. So I think also the case of the politicization of the central government in the case of insecurity is the big problem. Coming back to what Dauda was saying, and I think this is the thread with what Dauda was saying. When we hear about case of banditry in Zamfara states, we don't see the big response by the state, by the federal government security forces there. But recently there was an election, 5 polling units. You needed to see how they deployed brigades and brigades. In fact, they summoned up military forces from Gombe and neighboring states just to be able to oversee 5 polling units because the APC was involved in that election and they finally did win that election to prove a political point. Right. So another part in all of this conversation about state police is going to be the eventual politicization of the apparatchik of security in those states. And that's why Dauda is saying that, yes, I should be able to sort this out. But the question is, we also know what is going on in these states. The politicization, because in one breath, you want to go ahead and flush the bandits. Yeah. The bandits are also valuable during election period.
What are the solutions? What are the solutions?
Number one solution will be this.
Just 2 seconds.
Have a state police that is totally independent. And in fact, even having a state police is overflowed because there is almost no states. Most of the states in this country and most of the regions have some sort of architecture of state police. In the southeast, there's a Bubiagu.
Yeah, but their remits are limited.
Their remits are limited. No, the only difference is, what's it called? Amoteku carries weapons, but they don't carry high-grade weapons like AK-47. But they do intelligence gathering work and they work with the police. There's Shege Kafasa, there's all of that. So that model you have been using, continue to use it.
So you prefer to have the vigilante groups and the federal structure that we already have in place? Is that what you prefer?
No.
Because you're talking about Bubiagu and all of those.
There are still state vigilante units that are different from the likes of Amoteku and the
No, I think that the state police, the idea of the state police is for them to have the full might and the full support to be able to govern their state. Some of these vigilantes, they go around with, useless weapons. They don't have...
No.
Yes, we saw things that happen in... What is it? Agune chamber.
Yes. That's what we are saying.
So, that's the conversation. Is that what you're saying?
No, listen.
What's your conversation?
Please take our time to hear me
Yes,
out. Please.
quickly.
You have those vigilante units that are spread across the country. In fact, there's a National Vigilante Association.
Yeah.
That's separate. Then you have things like Amoteku.
Yeah, we know that.
Amoteku, hope you know, is being led by a retired military officer, which they bring some structure and training into it. What I'm saying is those hitherto structures you have, amplify it, give them more oversight to be able to carry bigger weapons, and then go ahead and do the constitutional reform. But you must also put modalities and stopgaps in place that in a case where these people try to politicize and they become agents of the governor against their political adversaries, you will be able to step in. Because that's the grounds a lot of people have against the state police officer. But the structures are there. Governor Dauda has a cadet unit in Zamfara. The other day, we showed on TV when Benue launched their own. Almost everybody have their own.
All right.
But it's just out. Lagos even has a neighborhood watch of some sorts.
Okay.
We'll take another story now.
Let me just say, the leading, most visible authority on state police in Nigeria at the moment, there are other scholars on the subject, but the leading authority is Professor Kemi Rotimi of the Department of History, Oluwafemi Rotifa University. He has written a book, The Police in a Federal State, the Nigerian Experience. I hope we'll get an opportunity to engage with him at some point. His main conclusion is that state police is not new. We have had it before in this country, and it can work without necessarily being politicized.
Absolutely, well said. Shall we take another story now? From the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. In a horrific and tragic incident, a family of 3, a man, his wife, and their son, all died in a horrific car crash. The incident, according to eyewitnesses, occurred on Wednesday, September 3rd, at the Mmabushi Bridge, after a group of hoodlums reportedly ambushed the family's car, accusing the driver of breaking traffic rules. The family car reportedly stopped by the bridge to pick someone up when a hoodlum forced his way into the vehicle and grabbed the steering wheel from the driver, which led to the car ramming into a pillar at the bridge. Well, here's the aftermath of the incident.
This is what Abu caused here in Abuja. They are really causing a lot of harm. It's high time we do something in Abuja. Seriously. Both family died because of Abu. Here is it all. Imagine. They chase this man, enter in a car, drag steering for your hand. The man die, your wife die, your son die. FCT minister needs to do something. Amak must leave Abuja.
Well, you know what, Ayo, at the end of the day, this was such a horrific scene that we saw. Yes, I don't know if you saw the videos that were trending, and there was some sort of jungle justice that occurred because those hoodlums, the residents in the area, pulled them and burnt them, set them ablaze, which is quite unfortunate because only yesterday we took the story of Amaye, this sort of jungle justice, and this is the conversation I want to have. Following that crash, like I said, residents in the area reportedly caught 3 of the suspected hoodlums and set them on fire. As of now, the police have yet to issue an official statement or provide further details on the tragic incident. Ayo.
All right, so let me start from the back end and work my way backwards, which is from the jungle justice as a result of these touts, these louts in Abuja. So we see that Lagos is not the only place where we have issues around people, urchins on the street who constitute themselves as authorities to take taxis, unlawful taxis from, commuters on the road. So what happens, and yesterday Dr. Bati said something when we had that talk of Amaye, that when you see jungle justice, it is a lack of it's distrust on the part of the people on the systems in place to address these things. And so when people feel that they are pushed to the wall and feel like they do not trust the system to do what it's supposed to do, they take matters into their own hands. As we've often seen, this is one case too many, where immediately we are going back to the days whereby tires were strewn around the necks of armed robbers, and in the same way because the police were not trusted enough to do their job, so they institute jungle justice, and we saw a swift reaction to these touts where one of them was burnt alive. And in some instances, some people would say, good for them, good for them.
Oh, yeah, you should have seen those
say, it's good for them because these people have terrorized the neighborhood and the officials have not been able to contain their excesses.
Yeah.
Last year, July 2024, the FCT authority had said they were going to, clamp down on these touts and the activities, motor park touts, and said they were going to arrest them, persecute them. 1 year later, they are still on the roads, they are still doing the same thing. And this has now led to the death of a family. It is ridiculous. And so when people feel that the authorities are not doing their job, it pushes people to behave like animals, to take matters into their own hands and then to implement jungle justice. What we're calling for now is that I hope that this will be a lesson to the FCT. I'm hopeful. And that will actually end this menace of touts who collect illegal taxes from innocent commuters, whether it be in Abuja or Lagos, any part of Nigeria. It is illegal. It has to end. We need to see it come to a stop.
Well said. That family of 3, a young man, wife and family. Let us all rest in peace. We'll take another story. The medical community right now is in a state of mourning after Dr. Oluwafemi Rotifa, a young resident doctor, collapsed and died after working for 72 hours straight. Reports indicate that the doctor had been on call for 3 days straight, working in the emergency room. He then went to the call room to rest, but ended up passing away. In a post on X, the Port Harcourt University Medical Students Association said that it is with a heavy heart and profound sorrow that we announce the passing of our 35th president of the Port Harcourt University Medical Students Association, Dr. Rotifa Femi, who died while on duty. This is a great loss to the family, loved ones, and the medical students community as a whole. As we mourn, we demand for justice and accountability. Rest in peace, Dr. Rotifa Femi. He's a 35th president. Now, we're yet to see a statement from the River State University Teaching Hospital where he worked. But Dr. Rotifa was also reportedly registered with the United Kingdom's General Medical Council and was waiting for a medical placement abroad. And I'll just take a reaction to this story, Dr. Bati, before I come to you. This person wrote, the painful loss of Dr. Oluwafemi Rotifa after a 72-hour call duty is more than a headline. It is a horror of what many of us have lived through. I remember during my house job, after working 32 hours non-stop, I checked my vitals and discovered my blood pressure was high. That moment opened my eyes to the hidden toll of exhaustion we carry as doctors. This tragedy reminds us that while we dedicate our lives to saving others, we also need systems that protect our own health and well-being. May Dr. Rotifa's soul rest in peace, and may his passing ignite urgent reforms to make humane working conditions a reality for every healthcare worker in Nigeria. Quick comment, Dr. Bati.
Okay, very quickly, we commiserate with the Rotifa family, with all the persons who worked with Dr. Rotifa, who knew him, his colleagues, his teachers, for whom, and for all of us, for whom this is a monumental loss. Now, doctors sign upon graduation what they call the Hippocratic Oath, as defined by Hippocrates. Now, there is nowhere in that oath that says that a doctor must die while trying to save others. It says that doctors have an obligation to save lives, whatever the circumstances. Now, this is a young doctor who was working for 72 hours. He is one of those patriots who have refused to succumb to the Japa syndrome. Now, we were in this country when one minister of labor said, oh, we have more than enough doctors. Whoever wants to Japa, whether to Saudi Arabia or Canada or the US or the UK, was free to go.
Yes.
But there are some patrons who remain here. And now we have a shortage of doctors. How can one individual work for 72 hours? The guy was overworked until death. And yet this is a time when medical doctors are protesting, resident doctors are going on strike, nurses and midwives are going on strike. They are not even well paid. They don't even get their salaries on time. And then they lose their lives in the process. Nigeria really happened to Dr. Rotifa.
Absolutely.
But the other point is that doctors too have an obligation to take care of their health.
All right.
And not become victims of overwork or sudden death. In saving other people's lives, their own lives are very important.
Absolutely. Well said, Dr. Abati. Thank you for that. May his soul rest in peace. Well, in a heart-wrenching plea, a young Nigerian girl, Mercy Oluwagbenga, is warning her peers against the dangers of irregular migration after being rescued from Libya. Mercy, who was received by the chairman of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Honorable Abike Dabiri Erewa, shared her harrowing ordeal. She said she was lured by a promise of a better life to care for her sick mother, but instead found herself in modern-day slavery. She worked for 1 year and 6 months without pay to settle a 2.5 million naira debt to her agent. Mercy tearfully recounted being maltreated and described how Nigerians in her situation are treated like animals.
They don't like us in the sense that they see us as, I don't know, maybe competitors, or because they knew wherever Nigerians are, they might take over. So they treat us like animals. My own experience was the last place I worked. I was locked up for a year. In my room, they locked the door before going out. They locked the outside door, they locked the gate door. So I was stranded in that house.
Due to my own situation, I was like, maybe when I get there, I'll be able to send something to my mom. But when I got even 5 naira, I couldn't even see to send to her. She died. She died. So no matter the situation, even if you are seeing 10 naira every month, 20 naira every month, don't go to Nigeria is better than every country.
What a powerful, powerful message. Really sad incident. I mean, I'm glad that she has been rescued. Honorable Abike Dabiri praised Mercy for her courage, calling her one of the lucky ones. The NIDCOM boss warned that many others have died or gone missing and described irregular migration as voluntary suicide. She assured that NIDCOM will help Mercy return to school and continue to advocate against human trafficking. And that's what she's done there. She has warned, and she says Nigeria is better than any country. She was on news last night, and my heart broke when I heard some of her, statements there.
Very sad one. Please do not go that route, because we know what is going to end in. It's going to end in disaster and chaos. But I think the question we should ask without being hypocritical is that why are people leaving Nigeria? It's because they don't trust, they don't believe, the system doesn't work. And that's the thing we speak about here every day. Look at Dr. Rotifa's case. Dr. Basel, he said he wasn't passing the part of Japa. He had already collected the medical paper. He was already set to go. We will have lost him before he passed. Why? Why are our doctors looking for the UK as transit point, people looking for Libya? Because there's something wrong in the country, and you can see the indication. $32 million America has given us to be able to feed people that are hungry.
Right.
Let's make this country work. Oji, I know Nigerians that are schooled abroad. In fact, at first, if you schooled abroad in the 70s, people looked down on you because they felt the Nigerian education system was a whole lot better. Right. I know Nigerians that schooled abroad. They didn't think of staying back abroad. They were so eager to come back home.
Well, I came back home and we're
we
here
used to look
together.
down on American degrees.
You guys used to, right? All right. Well, I like her point and I like her advocacy.
Yeah.
I would also like to congratulate NIDCOM for the powerful work that they've been doing in bringing back our Nigerians home, really. And, thank God for Mercy's life. She did have mercy.
You see what we are talking about. There's a lot of problems in Nigeria. Now, shortage of medical doctors led to the death of this medical doctor, working for 72 good hours. That's 3 days non-stop, because a lot of clients, a lot of patients at the hospital, and he needed to attend to them because there's shortage of doctors. If he doesn't do it, nobody else will do it, and those patients will feel it, right? Shortage of medical doctors led to the death of this doctor, right? All because of bad governance. Now, that one for one. Family lost family of TV by why? Because of Agbero, because of area boys, because of hoodlums, because of this, because of that, all because of failed government that makes it possible for all these people to be on the street. You see? failed government led to the death of this family. What is going to happen to these people? Are they going to get them off the street, make sure this never happen again? I doubt it will happen again. We are reactive, not proactive every time. This is the same thing in Lagos State, what they are doing. It's the same thing. It will happen again and again and again. So when you turn to your left, there's problem. When you turn to your right, there's problem. Behind you, in front of you, there's problems. I don't know. Not to say, oh, this is the area we are celebrating at this place. In fact, many things is going on in this country. And see reasons why people are jackpot. Why, if you jackpot, whether the joy, that joy in you alone, even if you don't even think of whether you make money, you don't make money, it will take you years to make money. That comfort alone that you are going to derive from which country you go. If you travel to a better country too, if you travel to all those, like the other girl, Saudi, Libya, those Saudi, all those Middle East countries, if you go there, you are on your own. That one self, now you they cause yourself problem. It better you stay for Nigeria or for Africa than say you won't go to all those Middle East countries, those Arab Muslim countries. That one, they all did their body. But Nigerians or some African countries, they do not have choice again. They lost confidence in government. They do not trust their government again. And every time people are taking jungle justice because all these are what security agencies should have done. But they lost confidence. Anything, anyhow it goes, let's do it. We don't care. The result to all of this. Just imagine. How many, for example, in the UK have like a 67 million populations as of 2021 census. They have like 67 million population in the UK. That's 67 million in the UK. 82% are living in the UK. 82% of that population, because they don't travel. The country is good for them. Where did they go again? The country is good for them to an extent. Anybody who travel, any UK citizens who travel out of England, who travel out, maybe he won't go America, or he has serious business that he's doing, shuffle, they go and come. The other place where they might likely travel to is US, Australia. Those are the only two places. Maybe you find them in Canada. Where they won't go, wait till they find where their country is giving them. Why stressing yourself again? Even if you don't even work, the country is paying you to an extent. Why would you go to a place where you need to work hard, work to pay your bills and all those things? Yet insecurity, you can't even sleep and close your eyes. All those things, reasons why people are jackpotting. No, some people don't even jackpot because they want to go and make billions of naira because they travel overseas before they become a billionaire or a millionaire. No, some people just travel for comfortability, just for them to be comfort. These are the reasons. Just imagine now. And what compensation would the government give to that person? Anyways, not die for government work for Nigeria or government work Nigeria, not worth dying for. Say, as whatever you do, also know how to take care of yourself. Very important. Your health, it comes first. So please share this video. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'll be your guy. Run now.